Not sure what's wrong, but every time I go out and want to do a camera comparison, it's like a gloomy day and it looks like rain will fall just in a few seconds. Nevertheless, I have today two of the best flagship phones from Honor and from Xiaomi. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra against the Honor Magic 6 Pro. So let's get started. Look at that cloud. Seriously, it's going to rain in a few minutes. Here we have those two bad boys, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra against the Honor Magic 6 Pro, and you will see that we are missing a sensor on the Honor to compete against the Xiaomi. Is that so? We have a large tele zoom 180 megapixel kind of camera on the Honor Magic 6 Pro, where we have two tele zoom cameras on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which is the 3.2 times telezoom that also features macro capabilities, and the 5 times zoom here. Otherwise, we have a main 1-inch type sensor there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra that the Honor Magic 6 Pro doesn't have. Both feature, however, variable apertures. Xiaomi is a bit better because you get a little bit more from f1.6 or something like this, up for 1.4 I think, even to f4, where we only have like two difference, f1.6 I think, or f1.42 and f2 on the Honor Magic 6 Pro. I have to get my specs right, but you will see it here on the spec sheet as well. And of course we have some front-facing shooters there as well, 32 megapixels and 50 megapixels, and I think we start off with the front-facing cameras. Front-facing video 4K 30, but we can also record 4K 60 on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. And I was a little bit, I think, too fast on Twitter saying that the Xiaomi 14 Ultra fixed the audio bug. But what I noticed is I still have it last time when I was checking out the 14 Ultra against the Vivo X100 Pro, that there's still this bug there. I'm using another microphone now, a lavalier microphone now, attached to my Blink 500, because I noticed that it's working a little bit better there with the sound quality and the compression or noise reduction that Xiaomi does by default. So what do you think about this front-facing shooter here? Like I said, it's a very gloomy day, but there's a bit of sun, I think, maybe there in the background, but you probably don't see it because HDR is not so good here on the front-facing camera of the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Otherwise, stabilization should be fine when I'm walking around here, and of course the colors should be fine as well. I have to hold Timmy a little bit short because there are bicycles here usually. So yeah, what do you think about the front-facing camera of the Xiaomi 14 Ultra? And this is now 4K 30 frames per second recording on the Honor Magic 6 Pro. We have zoom levels 1 times and 0.8 times. I like the 0.8 times because I don't have to stretch my hands out so far. How about HDR? I think maybe a little bit better than on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. What do you think? I see a little bit more there of the clouds in the background. Yeah, nevertheless, this one here has also good stabilization, I think. How about colors here? Are they a little bit more punchy than on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra? What do you think about the front-facing camera here on the Honor Magic 6 Pro? 4K 30 frames per second here on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I think it is recording with f2 as the aperture here on this device, and the 1-inch type sensor, so we get nice background blur. What do you think about this one here? And of course I'm recording 4K 30. I have the possibility to zoom out, like I can go to the ultra wide angle. There we go. I have a button now for the ultra wide angle, so I use the slider now because I mistapped because I'm holding Timmy and he's like always on the run. And yeah, what do you think about the ultra wide angle here? 4K 30 frames per second. I also can record 4K 60 frames per second and can switch between all lenses, which is quite cool that the Xiaomi 14 Vanilla or Pro model don't have. So what do you think about the stabilization, about the colors here on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra? Now recording on the Honor Magic 6 Pro, and I think this one here has also the f2 as aperture by default when recording video, because I see the aperture blades literally on the main camera sensor here. So we have maybe a little bit less blurry background because we have a smaller sensor, 1/1.3 inch size sensor. which we have here. And yeah, what do you think about this one? 4K 30 and 4K 60 frames per second. I can switch between all lenses, but I'm recording 4K 30 here. I have a button to go out to the ultra wide angle. So this is the ultra wide angle on the Honor Magic 6 Pro. So what do you think about this one here in terms of stabilization, in terms of colors, and also, yeah, colors. Look at the colors. HDR maybe eventually as well. Colors usually they tend to be a bit over punchy on the Honor Magic 6 Pro. What do you think about the colors here on the Honor Magic 6 Pro? So my face color, look at this and compare it with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Which one you think is better in terms of videos for vlogging? So let's perform the zoom test here with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I go to 3.2 times zoom by pressing a button. You can see a slight switch of the lens and exposure change. The same happens with the 5 times zoom, and then I can go in 10 times. If I want to, I have even the possibility to go in further, 15 times zoom. There we go, stabilization is fine, it's just Timmy pulling on the leash. Timmy, you can see 15 times zoom, one-handed now. And yeah, this is the maximum zoom that you can get. And switching to 1 time, so you can see the animation again. It's quite smooth, isn't it? Yeah, Timmy wanted to go down the stairs, as you see. And now the zoom test with the Honor Magic 6 Pro. We have only 2.6 times zoom there that you can switch to. You can see that the switching here is much smoother than it was on the Magic 4 Ultimate. So we don't have like this exposure change that we had before. And I can zoom in. This is now 5 times. And then I can go maximum 10 times here on the Honor Magic 6 Pro. So what do you think about the quality? Here, let's go back to 1 times. This was like not an animation, this is 2.6. Let's go again 10 times. Timmy, don't pull. And now let's go back to 1 times. Was there an animation? On screen I didn't see any animation. What do you think about this one here? Front-facing video, let's compare this with each other. What we can see here is almost the same kind of quality, a bit more yellowish kind of face there, and we go a bit further, you will see it as well, where it's a bit more natural looking on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. When it comes to the quality itself, if you play it back, you see we have a nice and sharp, maybe a bit over sharpened on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. You can see also a bit of noise creeping in from the sides already and overblown highlights in the background. Magic 6 Pro, it's a bit softer there. I like this a bit softer kind of look. HDR, however, is also not the best there. We can also go like here where we can probably get like a little bit of HDR comparison, as you can see here. This one against this one, I think the Honor Magic 6 Pro has a slight edge there in terms of HDR, but nevertheless both are very, very comparable and almost equal to each other when it comes to front-facing videos. Main camera video, what we can see here immediately is a wider field of view on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. We have again this more yellowish kind of face on the Magic 6 Pro, a bit more contrasty look on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra has a lot of over sharpening going on. There is no noise, but it is a little bit over sharpening my face, I think. And the Magic 6 Pro looks a bit softer there, more pleasant to my eye, I have to say. And it's also a bit closer by, as you can see there. In terms of stabilization, both are doing a fine job there. Also the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is doing a fine job, as you can see here. And yeah, both are pretty good in that regard. Let's go and take a look at the ultra-wide angle. The ultra-wide angle looks a bit over-sharpened on the Magic 6 Pro, but when you zoom in, you would see it's just the HDR looks a bit weird, where the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has like a consistent, very consistent look. The Magic 6 Pro, you can see, has this red or warmish, yellowish kind of face problem there. And when you go to the ultra-wide angle, it's changing the color slightly there. As you can see, it's much warmer here, and there it's much cooler there. In terms of HDR, both doing a fine job. When it comes to stabilization and so on, I think also both doing a fine job. There's a bit of noise going on that you can see here on the ultra-wide angle of the Xiaomi 14 Ultra that you don't get so much on the Magic 6 Pro, because everything is a little bit smoother there. Also, I think the stabilization might be a tiny bit better on the Magic 6 Pro in comparison to the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, but this is like nitpicking. In terms of video, they are very close together here. Let's check out the zoom. And here, first of all, when we are outside there, you can see like, this is I think ultra wide angle or 1x. Much more contrasty look again, much more warmer look on the Magic 6 Pro, less contrasty look. When we zoom in, and you see, wait a second, there's I think the switch is important there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. You see how that for a second, split second, there was a blue kind of screen. We don't have this, we don't get this on the Magic 6 Pro. So when you zoom in on the Magic 6 Pro, you can see it has a change of exposure. So basically the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I think, you see is very, very close, but it maybe gets a little bit, tiny bit warmer there. So very weird. But yeah, but this one is a huge jump from the Magic 6 Pro, from this color that we have here to the totally bluish kind of color. You can see the color shift there tremendously. Also, the colors are wrong on the Magic 6 Pro. It is like the sun coming from the left side. So yeah, it should be like on those chimneys sun. And here, yeah, just ignore the Timmy stabilization test there. But the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is not getting only closer there, but also more noise free, where the Magic 6 Pro has way more noise there. So I think this is a win for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra when it comes to the zoom capabilities. Let's take a look at the photos. On the left over is the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, on the right over is the Magic 6 Pro. We start off with action shots. Both feature an action mode that you can activate in the normal photo mode. There's a little runner icon there. If you press it, they are going into their action modes for fast moving objects, like my dog here in the woods, jumping all over around there. I noticed that, of course, they have some issues, just like also with kids and other pets, with getting the shots sharp, especially too fast running. The Magic 6 Pro sometimes has an edge there. It might be depth of field sometimes because the F number is a bit higher there, but also has some issues like overexposing the fur of my dog always, like in other shots there as well. You can see that we have this fur. It's not 100% sharp. Here's also not 100% sharp, but it's always a little bit overexposed there. And also in this case, it's a bit brighter of a picture in general on the Magic 6 Pro, but it's also overexposing Timmy's fur there that we don't have so much on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. And by the way, this was taken here with the 3.2 times versus 2.45 times. And you can see this nice blurry background that we have here. There's also a bit of blurry background here on the Magic 6 Pro. But I think it looks a bit nicer on the Magic 14 Ultra, maybe because the exposure is a bit lowered or the bokeh is a bit more there. The 3D kind of view is a bit better than here, the more static kind of shot. Let's take a look at macro shots. Quite interesting because the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has basically 3 macro lenses. You can use the ultra wide angle, you can use the 3.2 times, and you can use the 5 times here. I will compare the 3.2 times versus 2.5 times. 2.5 times is not really true macro on the Magic 6 Pro. 30 centimeters is the minimum focus distance, so this is what you get there. It's quite good of a shot. You get nice blurry background and okayish kind of details, but it doesn't compete with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra for sure when it comes to this kind of macro shot. Even if you go with the Magic 6 Pro to a bit closer at 2.5 times, it will switch then to the main camera sensor. You can see it here with the f-stop number because the other one is f2.4, is the real one for the on a Magic 6 Pro. And you can see it changes slightly. The detail level is a bit improved. Bokeh is also more visible there for sure, but also the contrast is less, so it's changing a little bit stuff there. If you go directly to the one-time lens, which has 10 centimeters focusing distance, you get this kind of shot. You see, it's a bit different kind of perspective. Detail level is a bit better, but I think a bit over sharpened there, and maybe not as good as the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Let's check out another shot here. This is 2.5 times zoom again against 3.2 times. Again, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has a better one. 3.2 times versus this is now the 27 millimeters, the main camera sensor at 10 centimeters distance. And you can see it was raining there. It's another day, and yeah, bit of sharpening artifacts there. color-wise, I think a bit more orangey than the more yellowish here on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, where the Ultra is a bit more bright. You can see that we have slight vignetting because the Magic 6 Pro was set to authentic mode. It also has now an authentic mode. It imitates a little bit the Leica authentic look, so I wanted to have them side by side, so you can take a look at this as well. I can also use the 68mm, but it's not utilizing the 2.5 times zoom. As you can see here from the f-stop number, it's utilizing the one-time lens. It's just like a little bit further away, you get a bit more bokeh, and it's simulating more what the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is doing here. Again, more orangey, more yellowish. Then we can even get closer. This is now super macro mode. Why am I lying? Yeah, this is super macro mode. If you go to super macro mode, you can see it's using the main camera sensor again, but you can get quite a bit closer to your object, and you get this kind of shot and fantastic kind of details that yeah, you don't get with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. What the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, however, as you see here, there's this bokeh kind of, it's like an kind of focus stacking, I think they are doing here, where it is using, I think, the main camera sensor plus a 3.2 times to get everything more in focus. This, in theory, on DSLM works like this, that it's like creating 3 or 4 shots or more shots, and then intelligent computational photography is helping in stitching those or stacking those shots together, so you get your whole object in focus. This is, for example, very useful for insects or other very small objects like flowers. What the Xiaomi 14 Ultra does, I don't think it does this focus stacking with one lens. I think it is utilizing, and you can see it here with the 75mm f1.8. I think it might be utilizing the ultra wide angle or the main camera sensor. I think more the ultra wide angle to get this, to fake it a little bit. So it's not a true focus stacking. You can clearly see it here with the leaves, for example. They appear nice and sharp and like this 3D kind of view. And if I go to the focus stacked version, they have some weird kind of thing going on there, like artifacts from as if it would stitch together from 2 different lenses there to make it appear a bit sharper. Also, there's no detail, more details here in this out of focus area, as you can see here, in comparison to here. So it didn't add more details here like I would expect from focus stacking. So it's nice that they added such a function there that might help if you don't want this blurry background with a 3.2 times zoom, but it's not very useful for this kind of shots. Nevertheless, I think they're basically on par when it comes to the ultra wide angle, not ultra wide, when it comes to the macro shots. The ultra wide angle on the Magic 6 Pro doesn't need to be used there for the macro photography because the main camera sensor is not so large. You can use the main camera sensor, which is quite nice. And on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I think the best shots you get with a 3.2 times zoom, and then without this fake focus stacking, but with this shot here, nice blurry background, looks very aesthetically pleasing. And I can get even closer, like I said, 120mm 5 times is also possible, of course. And you can see it's not always using, it's using f1.8. I think the 5 times has f2.5 or something like this, and not f1.8. So it's also utilizing, if you're too close, the 3.2 times. But the 5 times also has, I think, some kind of macro capability, but I was not able to trigger it here. But you can see very, very similar. So this is what I wanted to show you. Focus fall off a little bit more here on the 14 Ultra, but in general, very, very similar. Basically same points in terms of macro photography. Also here another shot that shows that the Magic 6 Pro can sometimes misfire here. But if I force 5 times zoom, for example, and it is nice and sharp, and it's using the 2.5 times zoom lens here, and both basically also in the, this shot has been done now in the natural mode, not in the authentic mode on the Magic 6 Pro. Let's compare the main camera sensor. Quite interesting. This photo, I tapped on the same spot that was here. And you can see there is some leaves there, some kind of branches there in the foreground. And for some reason, I think they chose a different kind of focus point there. I think the Xiaomi 14 Ultra was focusing on this in the foreground, where the Magic 6 Pro focused on the background. This is unfortunate, but this is how it is. And the interesting part here is that you see tons of sharpening added on the Magic 6 Pro. You can see these white lines around the bridge and around those, and cooler kind of colors in general, where the Xiaomi 14 Ultra seems to be a bit more warmer. Colors, of course, the colors. We have to talk about the colors. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra with like authentic, the Magic 6 Pro with its authentic mode. Vignetting, it's a bit more visible on the Magic 6 Pro there, so that's fake vignetting that they add there for the authentic mode. And we see much more punchy colors here, not only on the tree, but also on the green grass. And here's the thing, you can see the Magic 6 Pros being unsharp here because it was focusing really on the background, where here it is a hell lot sharper on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, where I think it focused on the foreground. You can also see it here with those branches there that are more in focus here on the 14 Ultra. But the color difference is what I wanted to show you. So the colors are much more punchy on the Magic 6 Pro in this authentic mode, where I would say authentic mode should be more authentic, not so colorful there in this case, because it looks like a completely different day on the Magic 6 Pro. It was a very gloomy day, very rainy day actually. Started to rain right afterwards, and you don't see it so much on the Magic 6 Pro. Another shot where you can also see that this authentic mode on the Magic 6 Pro is adding tons of vignetting and has this punchy and very contrasty kind of look. Look at the chimneys and the detail level there. It appears to be more details just because the Magic 6 Pro is raising the contrast here enormously and also sharpening things up. But actually there is not more detail on the Magic 6 Pro. And I would just say, yeah, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is a bit better there in this regard. But even if you give this point to the Magic 6 Pro, because you say, hey, it has more detail, even it's a bit darker there. I look at this, same now like authentic versus authentic mode on the Honor, and again not much of a difference. Also in terms of contrast, very very similar. I was shooting against the sun there, and the only difference you will notice is again here on the side that we have a bit of over sharpening going on. You can see a bit more detail levels here on the Magic 6 Pro, but it's over sharpened. You can see the artifacts here of this over sharpening, especially also there. The colors are again a bit too punchy in my taste. And when we take another shot here in Pro mode, both with the widest aperture that you can open up, I think f1.6 on the f1.4 it says on the Magic 6 Pro, sorry, and f1.6 on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. But the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has the larger sensor, 1-inch sensor with 1/1.3-inch size sensor. And what we can see here, the bokeh is much more busier. You can see the over sharpening artifacts on the Magic 6 Pro. Sharpness fall off here. I think the sharpness point or sharpening point, the autofocus point was somewhere here. Xiaomi 14 Ultra as well. You can see this is still a bit sharper there, but here you have also the same issues that it had there on the lens. But the bokeh is much smoother there. And we have now authentic mode again on both, where it appears to be more vignetting or on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra instead of the Magic 6 Pro. The punchy colors you can see here as well again. This is not this bright yellow that the Magic 6 Pro made it out to. It's more like this orangey kind of color that we have there, the Linux Tux Penguin. And then another HDR kind of test where we can see we have on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra a little bit of brighter picture there, more bluish here, which is wrong actually. The color is not so bluish, it's a reflection of the sky, where I think the Magic 6 Pro does it a bit more right because it's more dark here. And I think both have a good HDR. It's maybe slightly overexposed on the 14 Ultra, but I think it's just simply a bit darker on the Magic 6 Pro. And looking at the bokeh again, a lot busier than on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra that has ultra smooth bokeh. So in general, bokeh alone, the f-stop numbers that you can switch that allow you a little bit more flexibility here, I would give a slight edge to the Xiaomi 14 Ultra there over the Magic 6 Pro. Major point for me is the colors that no matter if I'm going into original mode or I'm going to authentic mode, it is just too fakey, punchy on the Magic 6 Pro. And yes, I know on the Magic 5 Pro I was still saying, yeah, it's okay, but nowadays I would say everyone, the trend is going into more authentic kind of images, and I don't like this too punchy kind of images on the Magic 6 Pro anymore. The real, more authentic look I have definitely on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. And the Magic 6 Pro, I think, still needs a bit of fine-tuning there in the color department and maybe also contrast department. So this is a win for me for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Ultra wide angle, this is the natural mode on the Magic 6 Pro. Actually, you can see no vignetting there against the Leica authentic mode on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Why Leica authentic mode on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra? Because vivid mode wouldn't make any sense, and I think the Magic 6 Pro best colors you will get in the original mode there. And it's a bit brighter for sure. The edges, you can see they're getting unsharp both. And detail levels, you can see again, especially when you go down here, a bit over sharpened on the Magic 6 Pro, a bit too contrasty on my taste on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. When you go to the next shot here again, we didn't see it in the woods so much, but here you see that we have a slightly wider field of view on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, 12mm versus the 13mm on the Magic 6 Pro. This is now again original or natural versus the Xiaomi 14 Ultra's Leica authentic mode. Again, I think more punchy colors on the, slightly more punchy on the Magic 6 Pro, where the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has it, keeps it more real there. We see again more sharpening. You can see the artifacts of the sharpening here in the fence that we don't have so much here. So appears to be more detailed, but it's actually over sharpening a bit on the Magic 6 Pro. But that's basically it, what I can tell you in terms of differences. Maybe there's a difference, slight difference in the colors, like this a bit more cooler, this is a bit more warmer, but this is like negligible. You can see the sharpening applied heavily on the Magic 6 Pro there. Towards the side, both fall off, get soft for sure, as you see here. And that's it basically for the ultra wide angle. This is another ultra wide angle original on the Magic 6 Pro and like authentic on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. You can see much darker, much more contrasty on the 14 Ultra. Not so to my taste. Towards the side, both get a little bit softer there. I cannot really crown a winner here because it is basically on par. It's like slight differences in colors and rendition for sure when you have differences there. Slight differences in sharpness, how much sharpening applied. The Xiaomi is always like a little bit more, a little bit less aggressive. The Magic 6 Pro a bit more aggressive in terms of tuning and sharpening things up there. But in general, I would say ultra wide angle, the same. Zoom shots. Again, Magic 6 Pro in its original colors and Xiaomi 14 Ultra in its authentic colors, like authentic colors. Zoom shots. This is interesting because we have 75 versus 68mm. So we have 3.2 versus 2.5. Why is it 2.5 so close to the 14 Ultra 75 3.2 times zoom? Because the 2.5 are a crop from 27, or not a crop, are calculated from 27 as a base, 27mm as a base, and then it's 68, where the Xiaomi 14 Ultra I think is going for 24mm as a base. So again, a bit brighter on the Magic 6 Pro. A bit more sharpened up. You can see it here on the tree in the background. There's a bit of more those sharpening artifacts. Basically the same, not much of a difference there. Let's zoom in a bit further. This is now 5 times, which is a dedicated mode on the Magic 6 Pro. And you have to zoom in manually on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Both, by the way, different ISO, as you can see here, because the f-stop number is slightly lower on the Magic 6 Pro. And also we have not only higher ISO, we have also lower shutter speed on the Magic 6 Pro. Interesting. And when we zoom in, detail levels, we can read everything, which is nice. I think you can see already a bit of the processing there on the Magic 6 Pro going on, especially with the text there, where you don't have it so much, the processing there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Basically the same, a bit more aggressive in terms of sharpening there. Now 10 times zoom, And again, more contrasty look on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I think 10 times looks much better than 5 times on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, so they're more optimized for this. Where it looks a bit worse on the Magic 6 Pro, I think because it's not so much optimized for 10 times. When you take a look at this here, you can also see that the Magic 6 Pro is struggling already with its processing at 10 times, I would say. Look at the time there, 20 to 8. Which is very good readable on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Keep in mind it has a dedicated 5 times zoom lens, so it's much easier there. And 12 to 15 is also, it's readable on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra here, not really on the Magic 6 Pro anymore. And then we can go in, and this is I think now 30 times zoom. And if I go in here, you can see a little bit blotchiness, a little bit like softness going on. And again, Magic 6 Pro has the detail actually, and it is readable now, the 12 to 15. But what happened to the und here, which is UND, and here it's harder to read. So its reconstruction of the text is a bit harder. And look at the time and the watch. It's not round anymore on the Magic 6 Pro because the reconstruction failed a little bit. So it is getting to points where you have issues and difficulties. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra is working very nice with its AI zoom. So yes, I would say 5 times, maybe up to 10 times they are on par roughly, with a slight edge to the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, especially at 5 times. But beyond that, it's a clear win for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Though we have to say that at 30 times, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has this AI zoom feature that kicks in. For the Magic 6 Pro has, I think, from already 5 times on, the AI magic is kicking in there and you cannot even turn it off. Another shot here, just with text to see the difference there, where you can see this is now with the 5 times, where I think the Magic 6 Pro is optimized for, because it has a dedicated button there for the 5 times. You can see it's sharper. More detailed, especially at the edge, for example, the detail of the rust and all the other little points that you see there is much more detailed there, which is quite interesting because we have on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra with f2.5 a dedicated 5 times zoom lens. So it's quite interesting that the Magic 6 Pro can compete there. But you can also see that it's doing computational photography to sharpen things up. You can see around the text always like a slight white line that is like a sharpening indicator that you don't have so much on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra because it doesn't have to, simply as it. And when you zoom into 10 times, basically the same, you get warmer colors again on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. And here I think you can clearly see that this is not compatible. The Magic 6 Pro cannot compete then against the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. The 14 Ultra looks much better in this regard. Look at this. So you can see the white lines around, which they are not there. It's just the Magic 6 Pro is adding them to sharpen things up a little bit. And the Xiaomi 14 Ultra doesn't have to. So yes, Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I think, is the winner in terms of zoom. Also, when we go further and zoom in, both readable here. This is like this kind of construction crane that we have there. And I was photographing with, I don't even know, what was it, 30 times, 50 times, 720 divided by 24, 30 times zoom, AI zoom kicking in on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, helping tremendously with readability here. And the Magic 6 Pro, yeah, it's a pixel fest on the Magic 6 Pro. So yeah, it's definitely a win there for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. But it's not, if you don't zoom in, it's not by far. You can see already it's a bit of a worse image on the Magic 6 Pro and a bit more realistic looking image on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. If you don't zoom in too much, you could say, well, maybe it's an optical zoom, where here you can clearly see, okay, it's some kind of digital trickery that it's going on the Magic 6 Pro. Look at this, what is it actually? Some kind of screws probably that show much more details there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. So yeah, it's definitely, the zoom is definitely a win for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra in this regard. Magic 6 Pro has this large pixels and so on, but it cannot compete there in that regard. So the zoom is definitely something where the Xiaomi 14 Ultra shines. In this case, the Magic 6 Pro is just lacking another tele lens. I think 180 megapixels is nice, but I think they could have ended up with a setup that is similar to what the Oppo Find X7 Ultra is doing, so adding another 6 times zoom or another 5 times zoom in their case, or even 4 point something zoom, telezoom lens in their case would help enormously with long zoom shots. So the Magic 6 Pro is like more tweaked and tuned towards like up to 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe times, even 10 times. I think the Xiaomi 14 Ultra just simply wins from there on, and this is why the telezoom or zoom capabilities are better on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. What do you think? Portraits. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra, as you can see here, Leica Master and the Master portrait modes. I used the Master portrait mode here. You can see much warmer than the Magic 6 Pro. This is 2 times zoom on both in portrait mode, as you can see here. So it's a bit closer on the Magic 6 Pro. Magic 6 Pro using the natural colors. This is what you will get. Way too contrasty in my opinion. Way too flat looking, way too ill looking in comparison to the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which is, I think, maybe a bit too warm looking there for sure. In terms of detail levels, yeah, both uses fake eyebrow, but it looks a bit more natural on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra than here on the Magic 6 Pro, which is like, yeah, wrong there. Magic 6 Pro, you can also switch to authentic mode, which gives you this kind of look, which is quite nice. And this is now also 2 times zoom, as you can see here. And when you compare this one, you can see it is getting a little bit better there, maybe also with the face color and so on, more natural going, but it's a bit too dark still, the exposure there. Let's go to the dedicated one. This is, by the way, this is also 54. This is the vivid mode, which is also not very good in my opinion. Now let's switch to the dedicated one. 75 versus 68, so 2.5 versus 3.2 times zoom. I think it's doing a bit better on the Magic 6 Pro. I sticked to the Vivid one, because the Vivid one gives me a little bit better face color. You see, natural one is a totally white face. And when you take a look at here, you can clearly see that the Magic 6 Pro looks a bit sharper than the Xiaomi 14 Ultra in this regard. This is where the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has a bit of this softness going on there that hopefully they can improve in the future. The Magic 6 Pro, so a little bit sharper there. Which one you like? I think I have to prefer the Magic 6 Pro there a little bit better. And not sure what's going on there in the background if you hear it. My daughter playing with my wife. Anyway, you can see sharpness also on my hair much better there. And yeah, they're both awful portraits. I know. Then we have Magic 6 Pro can also do 5 times portrait. With the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I have to rely on the 5 times zoom and natural bokeh. And here you can see it's also quite soft there, where the Magic 6 Pro is much sharper. Though the Magic 6 Pro, you can see the sharpness is like artificially added there. To it, so it's redrawing everything there a little bit. And which one do you prefer? I think the sharper look is definitely on the Magic 6 Pro in that regard, but the more camera-like look I get on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra for sure. And front-facing camera also has a portrait mode there. This is the Xiaomi 14 Ultra's front-facing camera. You can see a lot of noise, 32 megapixels, and this is the Magic 6 Pro. I think the Magic 6 Pro is beating easily the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Not in terms of face color, because face color is more natural on the 14 Ultra, where it's a bit too warm, greenish looking on the Magic 6 Pro in this regard. So just like here it was too warm. This one is fine, by the way. Here, this face color, I think, which is the contrast too much. This one, I think I like the colors more, where this one, I like the sharpness definitely more. And lots of noise there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. So the front-facing one goes to the Magic 6 Pro. Night video mode now with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. This one has a variable aperture, so f1.63 I think, and a 1-inch type sensor, the new Litia 900, which is definitely very good. I'm using the internal mics as always. As you can see, I'm walking towards the light, standing right under the light right now, and now I'm walking towards the darkness with the light in the background. How well is stabilization here on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra? What do you think about this one here? And I'm using, of course, the internal mics. So yeah, you be the judge on the internal mics and how well they sound. And I'm turning towards the light, and I'm in the dark now. How is it working? What do you think about this one here? And also keep the stabilization in mind and the colors, and do we see any flickering? What do you think about the Xiaomi 14 Ultra here in this night situation? This is now recording with the Honor Magic 6 Pro at nighttime. We have also a night video mode here, which is also recording 4K 24 frames per second. We have a smaller sensor here, 1/1.13, 1/1.28 inch sized sensor with aperture f1.4 and f2, and this one is going probably to f1.4 to open it nice and wide here. And yeah, this is what you will get here with me standing under the light right now and the car driving. Internal mics, what do you think about this one with the light in the background? How is stabilization here? How are colors? And yeah, what do you think about the Honor Magic 6 Pro? Now I'm standing in the dark, turning towards the light. What do you think about this one here? Keep in mind I'm using the internal mics, so think about this as well. And yeah, the main camera sensor here, the only one that you can really use in these dark conditions. What do you think about this one here? Nighttime photos. Xiaomi 14 Ultra and Magic 6 Pro have the capability to shoot the moon. This is a very large exposure. As you can see here, we have like, what is it, 100 times zoom? Something like this. So we have 60 times zoom on both here. Roughly, and you can see the Magic 6 Pro has a bit more details than the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, but we both know that it's fake. It's a fake moon. So let's take a look at the main camera sensor here. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra for most of the pictures in Leica Authentic, the Magic 6 Pro for most of its pictures also in its authentic mode, which is quite nice. So let's check them out. Let's check out the middle here. I think we have a slightly overexposure on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, where the Magic 6 Pro keeps the exposure a bit better. You can see that the fuel station is turned off for some reason. They did not want to work on this day. At the green glass, we can see a bit more details there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra for sure, where this is like on the Magic 6 Pro completely a blob there. And so detail level is better, even though it's like less sharp there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. The detail level is much better on the 14 Ultra. Look at the bush there, completely dark here. It's a bit overexposed. Yes, we are using the authentic mode after all, so that's the point there. Street as well, you can see how much softer the details are there. So the 14 Ultra has definitely a better main camera here than the Magic 6 Pro. You can see it here at nighttime for sure. Then we zooming in, this is like 75 versus 68, so they're telezoom lenses, the native ones. You can see a bit more warmish colors on the Magic 6 Pro, cooler colors definitely on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which is quite interesting because I think the 14 Ultra is overdoing it there with the coolish kind of colors there. And I think also that the Magic 6 Pro looks a bit better here at night, which is quite interesting. When we zoom in a bit further, however, Xiaomi 14 Ultra with its 5 times zoom versus the 5 times zoom on the Magic 6 Pro, you can see that the 14 Ultra keeps its cooler kind of color in authentic mode. And I think it might even not switch to the 5 times zoom there. But in terms of detail levels, you can also see there is more detail on the Magic 6 Pro. Quite interesting. So I took another shot. This is now 10 times zoom. And this one is much, much better. You can see the color is much better. This is 10 times zoom as well on the Magic 6 Pro. Because now I think it switched over to the 5 times zoom lens on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. You can see the f2.5. Maybe it had it before, but it's way, way better there with the exposure. But when you zoom in, you can see how much noise there is. So the noise level on the Magic 6 Pro is definitely kept better, even though it's like heavily edited there for sure. So something that Xiaomi has to work on is this possibility. You can see here also overexposure. You can read it here on the Magic 6 Pro. So the Magic 6 Pro has definitely there an advantage for sure. This is now even further. This is 720 times. 720 is like 30 times zoom there. And yeah, which one is better there? I think the colors on the Magic 6 Pro are much more natural there in this regard. And yeah, the Magic 6 Pro definitely has better kind of processing there for the night mode for sure. Not very interesting front-facing cameras. I think a bit slightly overexposure maybe on the Magic 6 Pro. It looks like a flash turned on because there is actually the display turning on as flash. You can also see that we're a bit closer down with the 14 Ultra. And when we go into the detail levels, I think it's doing better with the noise there, but yeah, more details for sure on the Magic 6 Pro. The bokeh balls are very delicious on the 14 Ultra, much better than on the Magic 6 Pro, but nevertheless the Magic 6 Pro has way better selfie cam, look sharp, even as like smoothing skin, redrawing stuff, but it's just more details there, and I prefer the Magic 6 Pro a bit better, even though yeah, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra looks a bit more artistic with this bokeh balls. Let's take a look at this wide-angle shot, super wide-angle shot, ultra-wide-angle shot actually, and compare this with each other. You can see basically identical, not much of a difference there. More edited on the Magic 6 Pro, a bit more noisy here. A tad wider on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Both towards the side, getting a bit softer there for sure. And what about the overexposure here? I think the Xiaomi handles a bit worse there, the HDR, but detail levels are a bit worse on the Magic 6 Pro, because this one, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, keeps a bit more noise in there. Identical, I don't see much of a difference there, to be honest. Another shot here with the ultra wide angle to see if we see much of a difference there. You can see much brighter on the Magic 6 Pro, but also much softer there. Look at the detail levels there. Look at the sides there. Much more heavily processed on the Magic 6 Pro, but I don't see much of a difference between them. I have to be completely honest there. Another shot here with the zoom camera. This is 5x versus 5x. I just wanted to check out because we didn't have 5x before on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I think. Make sure that both are utilizing their best, and let's take a look at the detail levels there. You can see both are pretty fine there with the detail levels of the little text there. More edited, more heavily edited on the Magic 6 Pro. This is why I would give the win here to the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. And when we take a look at this, is like, I think 10 times, no, over 10 times. This is like 720 is like 30 times zoom. 30 times zoom, again, more processed looking on the Magic 6 Pro. And I think the Magic 6 Pro is winning there in the nighttime zoom level. And the same goes for this one, which is quite interesting. So I was zooming in, this is like on the other side of the street. This is the sign there. We're zooming in here with the Magic 6 Pro. And this is like 1350 millimeter, which is like divided by 27, 50 times zoom there on the Magic 6 Pro. And then on Xiaomi 14 Ultra, you can see the Magic 6 Pro more heavily edited, but better looking there than the Xiaomi 14 Ultra for sure, which is quite interesting there. So yeah, this is quite interesting that the Magic 6 Pro is doing a bit better there in low light zoom than the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. So Xiaomi still has to work on this, but here you can see like how fake the text looks like. It's also not good. Both are not very good at this one. This is a very interesting shot because it's the night mode. I forced the night mode turn on. All the other ones were on automatic. This is night mode turn on. This is authentic on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Look at this and compare it with the Magic 6 Pro. Magic 6 Pro looks a bit more exposed, better details there in the background. When I switch to like a vibrant, however, this is what I will get on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. And I think I should have used like a vibrant for this comparison because it's much better. It has a bit more noise in there, definitely for sure, again, against the Magic 6 Pro for sure. But overall, look at the levels, detail levels, basically on par there. Now the main camera, a bit maybe too warmish here on the Magic 6 Pro. Look at the there. I think the HDR is working a bit better on the 14 Ultra, which is quite interesting. You can see more of the windows there where he is overblown. And yeah, a bit overprocessed looking there for sure as well on the Magic 6 Pro. And then another ultra wide angle indoors. This is again like a vibrant on the 14 Ultra and with artificial lighting, as you can see there. And do we see much of a difference there between the ultra-wide angles? I don't think so. Ultra-wide angles, I think, are nearly identical, even though we have a bit wider on the 14 Ultra. Tad warmer there, maybe a bit sharper there. It is what it is. It's very close. A bit more noisy here on the 14 Ultra, a bit more processed looking on the Magic 6 Pro, with a bit less noise there. But I would give them basically the identical points there when it comes to the night time there. So yeah, the The Magic 6 Pro redeems itself a little bit with the nighttime shots with better processing that the Xiaomi 14 Ultra lacks, at least in like authentic mode. But overall, I think the winner would be still the Xiaomi 14 Ultra with the better main cam. Zoom cams are a bit of a mixed bag at night. At day, it's definitely the Xiaomi 14 Ultra taking it there. And the Magic 6 Pro's ultra-wide angle is identical to the Xiaomi 14's ultra-wide angle there in this regard at night at least. So what do you think? Let's come to the ranking and conclusion. TLDR, the Honor Magic 6 Pro gets 4.45 points, where the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is the winner here in this comparison with 4.475 points. Where are the big differences? Main camera photo quality is a bit better on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. We can see it at daylight, maybe not so much, but at nighttime you can see a bit more details here and there. The variable aperture that has more apertures to choose from is also very, very handy in comparison to the Honor Magic 6 Pro. The Honor Magic 6 Pro sometimes get the colors wrong, sometimes looks a bit over processed there, sometimes a bit too punchy. With the Xiaomi 14 Ultra can produce more natural photos for sure as well. Ultra wide angle is basically identical in day and in night. Where it was a bit harder was zoom camera photo quality. Here I see the Xiaomi 14 Ultra overall a tiny bit better than the Honor Magic 6 Pro still, especially in daylight, where I think the Xiaomi 14 Ultra works best also with the AI zoom when you go further beyond in this very, very large, very, very detailed kind of zooms, like large zoom levels, 30 times and so on. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra is killing it there. The Honor Magic 6 Pro, despite having a very large sensor and lots of megapixels there, is not winning against the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, at least at daylight so much. At nighttime it is obliterating the Xiaomi 14 Ultra with less noise for sure on the Honor Magic 6 Pro. Better processing there, that helps tremendously. Sometimes a bit artificial looking, but there it redeems itself. This is why it's getting 4.4 points here and not 4.2 or 4.1 points there. But it's very close. But in the end, I think the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, also in terms of portrait modes, I think it's a bit, even though it's not the best with a bit too yellowish kind of tints in portraits, overall it's a bit soft there as well. I think we can see a bit of more improvements there in portrait mode for sure on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, as well as some processing there at nighttime, especially with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. This is why I would say that it has a potential for more there. The zoom camera photo quality, it's not doing its best there, but the Honor Magic 6 Pro is beaten there for sure. Video recording quality is slightly bit better on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, especially the ultra wide angle, like a bit more on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, even though it might be a bit noisier there. The stabilization is not 100% there on the ultra wide angle, for example, but especially when it comes to the zoom camera photo quality, video quality, it's better on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra if you have to zoom in. It's just a bit better there. Even though we have this color shifter, I think we get a better quality when we have to zoom in a little bit, especially in concert, for example. If you have to zoom in a little bit more there in video mode, it makes a lot of sense to have the better quality there for sure on the 14 Ultra with its dedicated 5 times zoom lens. Autofocus performance is basically identical, no issues there with both. They're very quick. They don't have any issues when it comes to the autofocus performance there. They're not 100%. It's not like a Sony Xperia, which is like totally the best when it comes to the autofocus performance there. So sometimes they have the possibility to misfocus there, focusing on the background, especially if you're not using the main camera sensor but another sensor there. But windy situations, taking a shot, a macro-like shot with the tele camera, for example, can be a challenge. But they are identical in this regard, so this is why both get 4.5 points. Front camera, however, is a big win for the Magic 6 Pro. We cannot argue about it. Even at nighttime, it's looking a bit artificial for sure. The detail level is much better there, and the HDR is much better there as well. The bokeh balls I like better on look more artistic on the 14 Ultra, but overall, it's what it is. The Honor Magic 6 Pro, also with autofocus, you get the better shot there for sure. Camera UI I like a bit better on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. We have a little bit of those little features that are working a little bit better. Like for example, if I have a timer set up, you can see that I have a timer set up because it's like showing me a symbol with 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever I've set as a timer on the UI, and I can just press this second symbol to disable the timer, which is also a very quick way to disable it. I don't see that at all on the Magic 6 Pro. I have also a quick toggle to go and set up the timer, which is quite nice. But for example, I don't know that I have a timer set, and sometimes I just press the button, miss the moment because the timer is turning on. And again, I can press the shutter button again to take the shot immediately, but nevertheless, it is what it is. These little things I would give to the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Same goes for extra features. We have a little bit more there on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra as well. Like, for example, the focus peaking is there. Possibility to set up, like, tune your audio, where your audio source is coming from, such things, which is quite nice there as well. Such things the Honor Magic 6 Pro is lacking. So this is what we get there. Let's take a look at the overall rank. And yeah, I have a ranking list there now with ranking names, so numbers, I mean. And the Xiaomi 14 Ultra gets the 3rd place together with the Oppo Find X6 Pro, so they have the same points there. Let's check them, compare them. Same main camera photo quality. This is quite interesting because the Oppo has the older 1-inch sensor. The Oppo has definitely the better ultra-wide angle. Ultra-wide angle is the best on the market right now on the Oppo Find X6 Pro for sure. Zoom camera photo quality, however, is better on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Video recording quality is quite interesting. They're very similar in terms of video recording quality. I think the Xiaomi 14 Ultra can improve there a little bit, so it has potential there for improvements. The autofocus performance is identical. Front camera is better on the Oppo Find X6 Pro, which is quite interesting there. And the camera UI is better on the Xiaomi for sure, as well as the extra features that we have on the camera application and everything else that has something to do with the camera there. The Honor Magic 6 Pro has 4.7 points there, as you can see on the main camera photo quality. It's a bit better than the Mate 60 Pro, and it is a bit worse when it comes to ultra wide angle, a bit better with zoom camera, a lot better with zoom camera photo quality, and video quality a bit worse. Autofocus performance the same, front camera performance the same, which is very, very good. Front camera performance, by the way. Camera UI a bit worse on the Mate 60 Pro, and a bit worse on the extra features there. The Mate 60 Pro has a bit more extra features, like the possibility high microphone recording quality with the Bluetooth headsets, or nano memory recording, which is also nice. And in general, you can see the Magic 6 Pro is beating the Xiaomi 14 for sure. As we saw before, it's beating the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the P60 Pro, the 13 Ultra, the P50 Pro, and the Xperia 1 Mark V. So these are the top 10 there. And you can see it is amongst the best currently. So if you have the choice between the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which costs I think till to date, I think 1,400 something euros, and the Honor Magic 6 Pro, which is available currently, not the retail price, but I think we have still 300 euros off, like 4,000 euros. Then of course price, you can see the price difference is not covering the differences that we see here. That is simply negligible. So yeah, you get one of the best camera smartphones on the market when you choose the Magic 6 Pro as well. And you also the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, with both having potentials to get a little bit better quality. The Honor Magic 6 Pro with their colors, renditions, not so punchy colors. The main camera can get maybe to 4.8 points. It has a lot of potential there for sure, but the most potential that they really lack of is the zoom camera photo quality there for sure, and the video recording quality that can be a bit better for sure. All depending on the zoom camera and the performance of this one. If they get this right, then the Honor Magic 6 Pro can climb the ranks. And almost the same goes for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. That can definitely, maybe not the ultra wide angle, but the zoom can be improved there as well. The video recording quality, in my opinion, can be improved there as well. Zoom camera photo quality can be improved by just getting the night shots right. So we have 4.6 points there already if they get the night shots right, or more right there. If they get the HDR on the front cam a bit better there, then we can climb here 4.2 points, and then it gets like over the Oppo Find X6 Pro, I think. And so it has a lot of potential on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, but they have to fix their software a little bit. And I'm still waiting for an update for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra 2, allegedly fixing HDR a little bit with the front cam, and the zoom camera photo quality gets a bit better because the telecams have a bit of sharper, better rendition and processing when it comes to the portrait shots. So yeah, it has a lot of potential. Both have a lot of potential, and I'm waiting for fixes for them to arrive to fix most of the issues, and then they will climb the ranks pretty sure and will beat the Oppo Find X6 Pro at one point, I'm pretty sure. And then they come into territory where we have second place, which is the Vivo X100 Pro and the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, which are currently the top leaders on my scoring board here. What do you think about these results? Write it down in the comment section. That's it. Until the next time. Bye.